ever catch yourself planning, like way in advance,
Mm-hmm.
like years ahead, you know, career moves, that dream trip you want to take all mapped out?
Oh, yeah.
You might be right in the middle of what they call the achiever stage.
Yeah,
We're adults now, but still, these phases, right?
it's true.
And it's more than just checking off lists, though. That's definitely part of it.
Right?
So today, we're diving deep into this whole achiever thing,
Yeah.
using the research you sent over, by the way, to really see how it shapes us.
Yeah.
Not just our goals, but relationships even.
Faith.
Exactly, faith.
It's fascinating how much it impacts. It's like these phases, they kind of sneak up on you. You don't even realize how much they're shaping your view until you start looking closer.
Totally. So let's do that. What is an achiever, really?
Mm.
I'm picturing like 5-year plans, the whole bit.
You're getting there. It's deeper than just the plan itself, though. For them, goals aren't just to-dos. They're tied to their identity, you know? The satisfaction comes from that achievement, and that often takes planning, delayed gratification.
Long game stuff.
Exactly. Big picture thinking. And it's not just external achievements either, important to note.
Oh, so not just like climbing the ladder at work, though that fits too.
Right, right. It's their inner world, too. That's huge for achievers.
Personal growth, that kind of thing.
Exactly. They get introspective big time, asking those big questions. What do I value? What's my purpose? They're not just going through life. They're actively shaping who they are and how they impact the world.
Legacy stuff, both the concrete and the, I don't know, the feeling they leave behind.
Exactly. And with that introspection comes, well, a lot more understanding of themselves, but also of other people. Empathy becomes more natural, you could say, because they're seeing those shared threads that
Yeah.
connect us all.
Wow, so it's not just ambition. It's almost like finding your place,
Mm.
but in a way that helps others find theirs too.
Exactly. And that leads us to some of the strengths, right? Their goal setting, phenomenal. They create a plan and stick to it, which, let's be honest, can be a superpower in so many areas of life.
A goal without a plan is just a wish, right?
Yeah.
And these folks, they are all about making those wishes happen.
Right. And the self-awareness, huge. They're constantly striving, trying to be better, which when you pair it with the patience to actually see that growth as a journey, makes them incredibly resilient.
It's about the climb, not just getting to the top.
Mm-hmm.
But, and I think this is important, could that constant striving for better, could that be a downside too sometimes?
Yeah, for sure. It's a balancing act. That drive is powerful, but there's this, I don't know if trap is the right word.
Oh, but go with it. What kind of trap?
Well, the material called it the deficiency trap. Like you're achieving, checking things off, but instead of feeling good, it's like you should be doing more. Always more.
Oh, I know that feeling. It's like the to-do list becomes your whole world.
Right. And your self-worth gets tied into it. So you hit a milestone, great, but then you're instantly looking at the next one, or worse, at what someone else has already done.
Instead of celebrating with them, you're comparing yourself.
Exactly. And then it gets isolating because now it's not about shared goals. It's like proving yourself. Connection goes out the window.
So this drive to be better can actually make it harder to, well, connect with people in a genuine way.
Sadly, yeah. And this self-reliance thing, it even shows up in how achievers approach faith, which the research touched on. That's where this center of gravity idea comes in.
Center of gravity. Okay, now that one I got to hear more about.
So imagine like a group's average comfort zone for growth. That's their center of gravity. It's all the unspoken stuff, beliefs, values that kind of hold them together. Stepping outside that can be rough, especially if the group's big on fitting in. Like think about your own friend group. You ever hold back on an opinion because it might not go over well?
All the time. It's like there's this pressure to not rock the boat too much.
Exactly. And for achievers who are wired to question, analyze, go deeper, that pressure, man, it can create some tension, especially around faith. Simple answers don't cut it anymore. They want to wrestle with it all, the doubts, everything, to find that grounded truth.
So it's less about blind faith, more about a faith that can handle some tough questions.
Exactly. It's like, think about building a house. Blind faith, that's building on sand. Looks okay maybe, but any storm's going to wreck it. The achiever, they're checking the blueprints, questioning the materials. They want that unshakable foundation.
I love that analogy. It's not about disrespecting the tradition. It's wanting that faith to be strong enough to handle whatever life throws at it. But as we said, those questions aren't always welcome everywhere, are they? It's like that Giordano Bruno story, right? The astronomer challenging everyone's idea of the universe way back when.
Ahead of his time, for sure.
And well, we know how that went. Makes you wonder how often that's happened.
Right. Brilliant minds, but too far outside that center of gravity we were talking about.
Exactly. So how do we avoid doing that to people? Or even to ourselves,
Big question. Are we open to the questions, even the tough ones? Or are we so scared to shake things up that we miss out on real growth?
It's a lot. So big picture, where does this leave us? We've got these achievers, driven to grow, understand all of that, but also prone to pushing too hard, maybe isolating themselves.
And when it comes to faith, forget simple answers. They're on a quest for something deeper.
Which, honestly, though challenging, could lead to a way stronger connection to what they believe.
Think about it when you really wrestle with something. You come out with a much deeper understanding.
It's not just knowing the fact, it's knowing the why behind it.
Exactly. So how do we support that? In ourselves and others. It's got to start with getting it.
Recognizing that ambition is often tied to wanting to do something meaningful, not just be successful.
Right. And that striving, yeah, it can be a lot, but it often comes from a good place.
And when those tough questions come up, maybe instead of shutting it down, we lean in a little, see where it goes.
Because that's often where the most important stuff is, right? Hidden in the discomfort.
This has been eye-opening for sure. Thanks for digging into this with me.
Anytime this stuff's important.
And listeners, we want to hear from you. Have you bumped up against that center of gravity in your own life? How's this whole achiever thing played out for you? Hit us up on social media. Let's keep the conversation going. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and as always, keep seeking those aha moments.